Williams-Sonoma has done a lot in terms of, I think that Laura Albert's probably done the best in terms of getting supply here. If you believe Nike, that supply is an issue. By the way, Costco has now rented. They are now in the business of containers. They've got 3 of their own. Yeah, right? Yeah. Galante's not fooling around anymore. But enough already. Now it's only 20%. But he has just said, listen, we had to go rent some containers. We can't have this anymore. And they got thousands of container ships. Everyone's going to have to do that eventually. What people don't realize, by the way, we used to fly a lot of planes to Taiwan, to Singapore, to China, but we've, obviously that traffic has been cut down dramatically, but it was in the cargo hold that a lot of stuff was sent, and that went out, so then you had to send it by ship. But I love the fact, by the way, there's this moment where Glante says, he's having fun here, by the way, because he does that. He goes, I want to stress supply, he goes, from a supply chain perspective, the factors, here's what's hurting them. And he goes, well, let's see, it's only port displays, container shortages, COVID disruption, shortages of various components, raw materials and ingredients, labor cost pressure, trucker driver shortages, trucks and driver equipment. And then he says, basically, it's a fun time to be in the business.
It kind of reminds me of what Carol Tomei of UPS said last night on Closing Bell. Take a listen to this.
If you go way upstream, manufacturers they were running lean manufacturing. They were running just-in-time inventory, which worked very well until the pandemic hit. When the pandemic hit, manufacturing slowed down. And then when the world started to recover, the demand outpaced the capacity. So we found ourselves with a lack of supply. We found ourselves with capacity constraints on ocean freight and air freight. And then when the products finally get here to the United States, well, they're jamming up in the ports.
From just in time to just in case, Jim.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, we realized that Ford and GM, they would be putting up unbelievable numbers had they had the chips that they need and cooperated more with some of these companies like an Avnet or been closer to Global Foundry. Now, what I thought was amazing during the interview, I was watching UPS closely. It was at 187, then 187.10, then 187.8, and then went back down. And the reason that people sold UPS is because they just think that Carol Tomei is as dumb as FedEx. When I use that term loosely, well, actually rigorously, because the FedEx conference call was a disaster. And I love the FedEx people, but they've lost control of the situation. I don't think Carol Tomei has.
Yeah. FedEx is historically really conservative on guidance, but there was a mess, as you pointed out.
Oh, my God. That was one of those calls where it's like, guys, throw in the towel. It's like, please, I don't watch the Ultimate Fight, whatever that thing is that's owned by Endeavor and Ari. I think you're in the fan. I love you, Ari. I love you, Ari. But it was like, is there a towel that can be thrown in? It's like, okay, that's it. We're just done this call. We're going to take a break. We'll come back to you tomorrow. Because it was that bad. It was that bad a call.